up and Cincinnati. I always feel like family here, so I wanted to introduce you to mine. This is Kaylee. Kaylee Foster. She's incredible. She's been shooting all week. Hamilton, of course, you know, because you see him on camera. That is Kat on Glam. Jarrell, get up there. Get up there. Check out our driver, Jarrell. We've got Dan just waiting to knock people's skulls together. Back here we have Chris as part of our family, and we have a hat from Hubei and Ted Karras with all that they're doing to raise money and help people all over the place in Cincinnati, Kentucky, all over the place. And this right here, I guess if this is family, this is the home, right? We're here at Paycor. We are at Bengals camp. We could not be more excited to sit down today with Zach Taylor. I've met him. I can't wait to see what the vibes are here. Mike Gesicki, a new addition. We're going to talk to him as well. Joe Burrow, I believe I get to meet today and sit down with. He's having some awesome camps and stringing them together with the goal of a Super Bowl for our LSU boy in New Orleans. Quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. I've been waiting a long time to meet you. Can you confirm that you're not an AI version of yourself?
I can.
You can. Yeah. It's you. It's really you, the emergency punter.
Something like that.
Of the Bengals. Okay, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not going to ask you any tough questions. Let's start with the mini fridge.
Okay.
Renovations, locker room, take me into the fridge. What's in it?
Protein shakes, snacks.
What kind of snacks?
Oatmeal balls.
Homemade?
Mm-hmm.
What, that you made?
No, chef.
Got it. Oatmeal balls, I love it. Do you think that some of the contract stuff with Jamar is about like it's getting held up with the mini fridge thing? Because he doesn't seem very happy that he doesn't have one.
Might as well throw one in there. It couldn't hurt.
Couldn't we could have your chef whip up some oatmeal balls for him and make it happen?
Yeah.
Okay, you're out there today. I thought you had an incredible practice. You said it was just okay. What do you mean?
I mean, there's always room to grow and improve. A couple days ago was better. I mean, there's always room to improve. So, unless it's perfect, it's not great, I would say.
Is there something specific you're thinking of as far as improvement? Because I was watching gorgeous touchdown to Trent Irwin. Your accuracy, your deep ball, the chemistry, timing looked great.
Yeah, I mean, we scored on 2 of 4 drives. Obviously, you'd rather score on 4 of 4. Didn't quite spin it on all the throws the way that I wanted to. Our operation pre-snap was pretty good. Could have been better. It was a good day of work.
A good day at work. Now it's over. And now what does Joe Burrow do?
Shower, cold tubs, eat dinner, and go to meetings. That's what camp's all about.
And that's what it's about. And then there's the preseason. I talked to your coach. He says he has every intention that you will play. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited about that. That's something I haven't really got to do yet. And I think that'll be good for us to get those reps, those game reps, for me to maybe not get hit again before live action. So I think that'll kind of help with our early season struggles the last couple of years.
If you had it your way, you get to pick, what does your preseason action look like?
Hopefully one drive, score a touchdown, and get out of there.
Okay, I love that. And you got Tampa coming up, which is amazing. Jamar, we talked about a little bit jokingly, but he's got this thing going on where he's in the building. I saw him, he's smiling, he worked out, he's happy, and that'll get done. It's sort of crazy that that's not a story to worry about. Like, people from the outside would love to poke holes in this situation, but it doesn't exist because of the chemistry that you guys have worked so hard to build. Is there another level to you two that we haven't seen yet? Like, I was thinking, what does it matter if he's not out there for any of the preseason into week 1? Sure, new OC, Gesicki, new pieces, but you guys are so locked in and in lockstep. Is there a level I have not seen you and Chase get to?
Yeah, I would say so. I would also say him not being out there right now is great for our younger guys to, we know what Jamar's going to do on the field when he comes back, the chemistry that we have, but a lot of the guys that we're getting reps with right now, we don't have those reps invested like me and Jamar do, so it's nice to build that chemistry, create that dialogue with those guys, and for those guys to continue to grow and improve, and it's been fun to watch.
I don't want to single anybody out, but let's give some love to somebody who you're really watching crush it right now.
I thought Andre has had a great camp. Chuck has had a great couple weeks. It's been really exciting to see those 2 guys in year 2 grow and improve the way that they have. They're going to have big years for us. Trent Irwin's always Mr. Reliable. He's had a great camp. Shed Jackson he's really coming along. So a lot of our young guys are really taking the next step in their development, and that's always fun to be a part of.
I've been such a fan of you for such a long time. It's like truly incredible to finally be sitting here with you, seriously. And it's sort of, I don't know how to explain it, like it broke my heart a little bit when I heard you on Part of My Take say, people forget about you when you're injured. It's obviously super true, but I didn't forget. You led the league in completion percentage, yards per attempt. You went to back-to-back AFC championship games. A lot of people didn't forget, but I was so curious listening to that and kind of the way you said it. How has the injury, the time away, how has it impacted you?
I mean, when you're coming back from injury, it's obviously, you build your life around football and being out there and playing well and winning games. And you work so hard for it, and then it's taken away from you, and you can't do that. And so you kind of go through a dark time there for a little bit, especially when you have to watch your guys go out there and play without you. But it really gave me the opportunity to, like it always does, this is what, if you get hurt during the season, you just start your off season a little faster, and this wasn't like my knee. I wasn't incapacitated for 6 to 8 weeks. I was able to get back working out pretty quickly, and so I think I really have a leg up on everybody this year. I had 10 to 12 extra weeks of off season, which I think has really paid off body-wise. And, it was a tough time mentally, but those kind of things you go through.
It seems like it's motivating every second of your life right now to not be forgotten. Is that true?
I would say that kind of motivation can only get you so far. I think I've proven enough in this league, whether people choose to believe that or not. I'm comfortable with the things that I've done so far, and so I'm not really externally motivated at this point. I'm more intrinsically motivated, and I think that's kind of what you have to morph into as you start to get older and become more of a veteran in this league. That's the external, I'm going to show that guy motivation that gets you so far. That maybe got me to my second year, and then after that you kind of start to grow and evolve.
So it comes from within.
Yeah.
I love that. I caught up with T too. He was in the hallway, and I was just like, man, they're so happy. There's such buy-in. We don't. It's a business. The future. I know you guys don't talk about it. I was talking to your coach earlier about who should get credit for the fact that there is this buy-in. There isn't this like, I want targets. I want my deal. I'm the holding out. Like all of this. Everybody's bought in. Who should get credit for that?
I think it's a collaborative effort, but Zach kind of spearheads it. He makes the culture. Starting with him, he's so easy to and makes us feel comfortable to go up and talk to him about, hey, we think we can do this better, we can do this better, schedule, week to week plays, and he's going to listen, and maybe we try it out, maybe we don't, but if we don't, he's going to give you a reason why he doesn't think that's the best way to go about things, but his door's open for us, and that kind of just works its way down from there.
I love that because he sat here and for 20 minutes took no credit for anything. He basically credited like Bengal Jim for your Super Bowl run. Like he took no credit, and I was like, you are the man. So let's say you go to the Super Bowl, you go to the Super Bowl and win it, and you're at the podium. Like, what is the one thing you're thanking Zach Taylor for?
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better coach to come into this league. He really empowers the quarterback to go out and make the offense his own. I felt comfortable doing that from day one. And he's never going to yell at you for making a check. He's going to ask you why and then explain maybe this would be better, and then you grow and you learn from there. But you're not scared to go out and make mistakes. And, when you're a young quarterback, that's the biggest thing, I think, to grow and learn from each rep.
He's competitive as hell, too, and a quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so somebody today, several people actually said, oh, you've never met Joe Burrow? And I'm like, no, I'm so excited to meet him. And they're like, oh, but you never met the old Joe Burrow. What do you make of that?
I don't know. What does that mean?
I'm asking, is there another, even Orlando Brown sat here and said he's opening up more. Obviously, people will look at your hair or like whatever, you being a little more in front of the camera, wanting to build your brand a little. How would you describe the change?
I don't know. I just I've never taken life too seriously. I think you just do things that make you happy and not really care what anybody thinks. I just am living life, working hard. I love football, so I'm going to work really hard at that, but I love my friends. I'm going to spend time with them, and when you have 12 longer weeks of off season, you have to go find some more things to do, as one does in the off season. So I think a lot of people saw that. But yeah, you're growing and learning and evolving, as a player, but as a person, year to year too. And so that's the process that I'm on right now.
So are you evolving? How would you describe it? Growing, or are you the same Joe Burrow?
I mean, you're different every year. I think everybody realizes that. And if you're not, then what are you doing, really? I mean, I think you're the same person at your core, but
you're exploring.
Yeah, you're exploring, you're learning, you're growing, and changing.
I think it's awesome. I like that you don't wear shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I usually wear. I definitely wear shoes.
Don't you wear one? Are you still doing the inside out thing at least, since you've changed the hair?
Yeah, I'm still doing the inside out thing.
Oh, yeah, there is one inside out. That's so weird. I love it. You're like a tall tale to me. Okay, week 2, let's talk about it. Mahomes, coach sat here and said that his approach to calling plays changes when Mahomes is on the other side of the field. You somehow sold your soul to someone that you were the one person that can beat Mahomes 3-1. How does he change how you approach your game in those moments? You got him early this year. Yeah,
I think you got to go out and not be scared to make mistakes. You got to go out and make plays, because he's going to go out and make plays, and that brings out the best in me. It's always an exciting challenge when we go against each other. It's an opportunity every time you go against him too, because all the eyes are going to be on it. It's always exciting. We've played each other so many times now. You get to know the guys on defense. I don't know as many of the guys on offense because we're not going against each other, but guys like Chris. I know Trav because he's an Ohio guy. Clyde is over there, so I know a lot of people. We've gone against each other so many times, and when you know each other in and out like that, it always makes for a tough game, that's for sure.
Who do you think knows each other in and out better, you and Jamar Chase, or Travis and Patrick? Like, who has better lockstep in game, like chemistry?
How do you want me to answer that?
I don't know.
You think I'm going to say them?
I don't know. Is it you? But I mean,
of course I'm going to say us, but they're going to say them. Like, that's how football players are.
Week 3, you have Jaden. Where does your head go when I say you get to take on an LSU QB?
I don't really think about it like that. My job is to go out and play the defense and adapt to how the game is going, decide what kind of quarterback is going to be needed for that day to go and win the game. For the most part, I don't really think about it like quarterback versus quarterback. I know we just talked about the Chiefs, but you don't really think about it that way, I would say.
What's your storyline? Last question for you. Like, your storyline for the year. Like, a lot of it is who can take out Patrick Mahomes, who can stop them from three-peating. What is the Joe Burrow storyline?
We're just focused on getting better every day at this point. That's what camp is about. And I think if you do that throughout the season, then you're at your best in week 15, 16, 17 into the playoffs. And so that's really what I think about day to day, is just how can I get better today.
It'd be pretty nice to have a nice Super Bowl moment in New Orleans, right?
Of course.
New Orleans, come on. How often do you think about that?
I've definitely thought about it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Okay, well, now let's manifest it and do the work. And somehow you think you can improve on what I thought was like a perfect camp today. But what do I know? I appreciate the time, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Of course, you too.
All right, we will be back. After this, I don't even know what's going on because my head is spinning. Goodbye. Okay, I'm here with a new addition. A brand new bombshell has entered the villa, everybody. And his name is Mike Kosecki at the tight end spot. I'd like to call it Gashiki because that's your name in Polish. I'm surprised that Joe and Jamar let you in the door with that gritty performance that you've had in your history.
Yeah, I've tried to completely stay away from that conversation with Jamar, but I'm sure at some point it's going to come up.
It's never come up. I mean, he's not on the field, but he's around the team with practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it very quickly in the weight room once, and I think we're just going to keep it as is. Yeah.
Have you been practicing, doing reps? I know you're on the jug machines. I'm talking about the gritty.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for all the people that know how to do the gritty, I have not been practicing, so it's not going to improve. But I think that's what makes mine, kind of funny.
Mike, it is going to improve because I think you're going to have a lot of reps on the field this year in that end zone with that gritty and maybe with osmosis with Jamar Chase. You, last year, bit of a mess with the offense.
Yeah.
Miami also they don't really use the tight end. Joe Burrow has given and worked with tight ends to give them career years here in Cincinnati. How excited are you to be here?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the big things that I was focused on coming into free agency, and I knew that there was an opportunity here, and obviously with this offense, with the talent that they have, figured that I could come here and hopefully make a couple plays at the tight end in the tight end spot.
What was your Joe Burrow moment? Like your first one where you were like, "Oh my goodness."
I mean, Joe is obviously, like he's regarded as one of like the coolest guys in the league, and rightfully so. The way he carries himself, how on and off the field, honestly, his confidence, all that kind of stuff. But on the field, I mean, just the way that he puts the ball exactly where it has to be. Like we were just doing a routes on air type thing and just throwing back shoulder go balls. And like I opened up a little early on one. He was like, "Yo, trust me, like it'll be there." Next one opened up and it was perfect. So
yeah.
What's
it like trying to develop chemistry with him? He's a pretty serious guy, at least in front of the cameras.
Yeah, no, he is. He absolutely is. But I think that he's done a really good job just kind of being himself. And this is really all I know, but from what I've heard that he's kind of opened up a little bit more this year. And it's been cool. He'll have the guys over his house and, just do some things off the field. So it's been cool getting to know him.
What's the thing off the field that you guys have done to build this chemistry? Because it needs to happen. It needs to happen in short order. We got a Super Bowl to win.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely, I think, he's got a nice spot here. So he has some people over the house and all that kind of stuff. That was during OTAs when there was a lot more time.
But what's happening? Like, is somebody grilling? Like, what are we doing? Like limbo? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
no, definitely no grilling. But just honestly, all the guys like all offensive linemen showing up, all the skill position guys.
Eating.
Yes, a lot of eating, a lot of just communication, hanging out, just building like camaraderie.
I've heard that you are just dominating this camp. I'm so happy for you. I
it's
think
been
you're
fun.
going to be, in the red zone drills, these one-handed catches I'm seeing and then I'm hearing about. What is working so well for you right now?
These lights are making me sweat from the walkthrough we just got out of.
Get used to the bright lights here in Cincy, baby.
It's more the post walkthrough sweat right now. But thank you.
Sorry,
appreciate it.
Yeah. I got you, bud.
Honestly, I think just coming in here with confidence and just knowing what I'm capable of. I've had success in this league, and it's just about opportunity. Obviously, you have to go out and earn it, and I think that that's something that I've tried to do. And we're still very, very, very early in camp, but I think just making the most of your opportunities when they present themselves.
I feel like you didn't have the opportunity in the past couple of years. What does that, and it has nothing to do with you. What does that do to you, though?
Definitely builds a lot of patience because I went from a time where I had 70 catches in a season, then got hit with a franchise tag, and then the next season went down to having 50 targets, let alone 70 catches. So the opportunity goes down, and you just got to be patient and try to still be a good teammate and be ready when your opportunity does present itself. And then try to get a fresh start last year. Obviously, it didn't work out the way that anybody planned over in New England. But now looking forward to, being here.
Ja'Marr Chase, you mentioned, we talked about him earlier. He's one of your teammates now. He's been teammates with Joe for a long time. What do you see with their synergy off the field when you've seen them watching tape of them in games that makes them work so well that you're noticing?
Yeah, I think the way the chemistry that they have, which obviously you just alluded to, but playing together in college, getting here, they're just always on the same page. And the playmaker that Ja'Marr is, and then the off-script stuff that Joe's able to do, they're always on the same page. So it's like, all right, play didn't work, but Ja'Marr still scored a 70-yard touchdown. How's that possible? But it's because they're always on the same page.
Got it. So he's obviously not participating in on-field stuff right now, but let's give Ja'Marr some credit here because I've seen him with the wide receivers. I know he's in the building. What does that other part look like? Not the playmaker part, but the other stuff that Ja'Marr Chase brings to this team.
Yeah, Ja'Marr's cool. Ja'Marr's awesome. Obviously, you see, him on TV and him during games and stuff like that, but I didn't, know what to expect from personality-wise. But, first time I met him, joking around, having fun. Obviously, we haven't had him at, practice, full participant and stuff like that yet. But involved heavily with like, small coaching points and how, he sees certain routes and things like that, which is, great for me. I mean, because if I can learn from, one of the best in the game, why not?
I love that.
Yeah.
Breakout year coming here in Cincinnati. Tell me about the fan base. Have you noticed any of the elements that make them as special as I think they are?
Yeah, it's been super cool. So when I first signed here in March, one of the first people that reached out to me was Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he played everywhere, but this was one of his many stops, and he was like, "Yo, you're gonna love Cincinnati," and I was like, all right, like, it's definitely not like,
so cool.
It's definitely not, South Florida and, the stuff that I was used to. He's like, I promise you, like, you're going to love it. And got here, and it was exactly, what he was talking about. The fan base is awesome. They care about the Bengals and the Reds. Like, it's cool. Like, I feel like I've gotten recognized more in Cincinnati than I did, all of last year in Boston. Like, it's been really cool to, to just kind of see, our fans, and like the way that practice is, where this field is across the street, like they're standing out there every day,
so
whether
cool.
it was in, May for OTAs or now for training camp. So it's been really cool.
Love hearing that. Love seeing that. This jugs machine after practice.
Yeah.
You're signing babies, it's autographs, it's shaking hands, stuff, and then you hit it with 160 catches.
Yeah.
Why 160?
So my normal off-season routine, I have a jugs machine back at home. And me and my wife do it, and so I catch it, throw it back to her.
That's
I give her a pair of gloves.
Hold on, let's give her a proper shout out. Name?
Hallie. Hallie deserves a ton of credit. So any of the catches that you see this year, it's starting in the backyard at our house. And I do 200 in that, but that involves like moving the jug machine up and down, because I do like a high ball and a low ball. And when we're out here, there's like a lot of guys trying to get work, so I'm not trying to like hold anybody up. So I do 160. So I cut those 40 out. But yeah, I mean, it's honestly just a routine that I've been doing for since my rookie year. And it's just like, you don't know. I could have 10 targets on Sunday. I could have 1 target on Sunday, but like, you got to make the play. So I'll catch 160, every day after practice for a chance to, catch, 4 or 5 on Sunday.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Ryan Fitzpatrick reached out to you before Karras did.
So me and Ted also had a good talk after that.
Y'all played together.
Yeah, we did. Funny story about Ted. Ted saved my life.
Oh, I know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't know if we were going to get to that.
Oh, let's get to it.
Yeah, sure.
I've heard about it. I've never heard you talk about it.
Yeah, so we went to Ted's house. This was in the 2020 year. Went to Ted's house. Ted's like, all right, I'm going to order steaks. I'm like, all right, cool. So I get a filet. Very, like, easy cut, like, meat. It's very easy to chew. Yeah.
Should be.
And my first bite, I'm sitting at Ted's countertop, swallow, and I'm just like, and, like, everybody's like looking at me as if like I'm like joking around. I'm like, literally can't breathe, can't get words out. So I like stand up, and nobody there is like trained to do the Heimlich. So I just go to Ted, because he's just the biggest human there.
You got up and walked to Ted
yeah,
and said,
like full panic mode. It's not like I was like, hey, like, can you do this? Like full panic mode. Ted just started like just literally squeezing me, and then eventually was able to get some. Get a little bit of it out. Fitz was just standing there like full dad mode, like, it's okay, relax, calm down. And yeah, so now we're here.
so now you wouldn't be here without Ted Karras.
That's right.
And that has to be like we're like power ranking, like all-time strongest Heimlichs of all time, I imagine.
Oh, my ribs were super sore the next day, but I was just happy to still be there.
You have bruised ribs. I'm gonna talk to Zach Taylor. What should I ask him? What's a fun thing to ask him?
Ooh, that's a tricky question.
I hear he plays pickleball.
Yeah, so Zach is like a sneaky, like super competitive guy. So we have a basketball hoop in our weight room. So I think you should ask him about the record that he holds in there with that.
And I got to remind you, out the gates, who's your week 1 opponent?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Getting to play New England again. I mean, it'll be cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for long. But did build some relationships there and all that kind of stuff, and obviously new coaching staff. But yeah, it'll definitely be fun to go out there.
Love that. Houday Nation, here he is, Mike Gesicki, coming to an end zone and hopefully an improved gritty near you. And shout out Hallie.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the best dressed person. I'm obsessed with what he's wearing always. Orlando Brown is here. Is this you coming through from a walkthrough?
This is my walkthrough attire. Yeah, for the most part, Versace shades. If you see me without my chain, something's up. Always got the foxtail on me, as you can see. Shout out Bengal Jim for that.
Oh,
yes.
He's gonna love that.
Yes,
Bengal Jim, who we know and love. Shout out to that. I need to get one of those.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like last time I saw you, we were in a little locker room. It was raining outside, and you're new. And I bet your head was spinning a little bit, the newness, the freshness of it all.
Yeah.
A year settled into Cincinnati and as a Bengal with Joe Burrow.
Yep.
What's different, or what's changed in your mind from last year?
So many different things. I think for me, I've been here all off season. I took 9 days off after we beat Cleveland at the end of January, and I've been in here every single day pretty much for the most part, with a few vacations here and there. And just getting to be able to see the city, be able to see some of these familiar faces every single day with our strength coaches and front office, even people upstairs on the business side of things. It's been really cool, and I've really enjoyed getting to know everything that the city and this team and organization has to offer. I'm having a blast, though. It's been so much fun. Just even with Joe, getting to know him over the last year, how much he's opened up, not just to me, but to the world, to be honest, just with the way his personality and how much he's grown. It's all been so cool. But last year, I guess you could say my head was spinning a little bit with it being my first year here.
Why do you think Joe's opened up?
I think that, just sometimes things like that take time, and he's obviously had a long off season than most of us with his injury kind of happening, and I think it was November of last year or October, whenever that was. So he's kind of been out of ball, you could say, since then, and rehabbing. And I believe that I've never been in that position, but you got a lot of time to think, and you have a lot of time to yourself and with your loved ones, I would imagine, even more. And so just, I think, man, through time and just understanding, he's opened up even more.
We know he's the coolest.
He is.
We know he's a killer.
Yeah.
We've all known that for a long time.
All of that.
Now the outside is getting to see other sides of him, whether it's branding, his comfort level, growth, whatever. Has it changed how he is in the locker room at all? How have you seen maybe growth or evolution amongst you guys?
Yeah, I think that he's opened up a lot more, and like I said, I've only known him pretty much, I guess, from year 5 to 6 throughout his career, so I can't really speak on 1 through 4. But just even in my time here, just how much more open he is with dialect or communication, making a silly comment in a team meeting or something like that, being himself. And man, that's our leader, that's our captain, our El Chapo, whatever you want to call him. That's our guy. And
is he getting in on these basketball competitions with coach and everybody?
Yeah. Oh,
he
yeah.
is?
Yeah. I mean, I would think so.
How good is he?
There isn't much this man can't do. I mean, I've seen him do everything, I guess, from ping pong to basketball. I mean, it's not much this man can't do.
But you're only as good as your Cincinnati skyline, aren't you?
That's just true, I guess.
Let's talk about these tall guys. Everyone's averaging like 6'11" or something.
It's a lot of size.
How excited should I be? And you know that I love you and this team in this city. How excited should I be about your position group?
Oh, very excited. Just with our additions of Trent and Amarius, I think, man, as you said, it's 3 of the biggest men in the world pretty much on the same team. And, man, I think just Amarius' approach on a daily has been so special. His energy, he's come in with the right mindset, ready to go, working his tail off, and he's been able to handle everything that they've thrown at him. He hasn't had any weird hiccups or seam stress. He's done a great job, I feel like, really just being himself, understanding what got him here, and just playing big. And you got Trent, who's, I believe, the oldest guy on the team, I think, at 31 years old.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was a guy I looked up to as a young player, studying so much of his film. So being able to have him in the room with us now, I mean, so many benefits to all of that.
You looking up to anyone is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy, yeah.
But I'm looking at the heights. I look. You and Mims are just under 6'8".
Okay.
And then you
what
have.
What do they have me listed at?
Trent is. I don't. Just under. I don't know. You're just under 6'8".
Okay.
Trent Brown 6'8.5".
Okay. Wow.
How is Joe able to see over you guys
You know,
at all?
It's funny you say that. I remember in college with Baker, there would be times I would ask him when he's working the left side of the field, can he see? Bake's barely 5'11".
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But, I guess he's listed at 6'1", 6 feet. But I believe that anytime he's working outside the numbers, it's probably a good chance he can't see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm hearing really great things about Amarius. I'm hearing, what is it about him outside? You're saying his approach. What about his just skill level that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I mean, they hit it on the nose taking him at 18. He's a first-round talent. And, I think a lot of times when you get guys like him at the offensive tackle position, you hear the word raw thrown around a lot. And I wouldn't necessarily say that about his game at all. I feel like he was unexperienced in a sense of game film. But he went to the University of Georgia where he's practicing against these first-rounders, these talented players every single day. He's come in right away and been able to display his natural ability, his size, and all those different things.
You always have great energy about you. I got to tell you have different energy now.
Yeah. Different energy?
Yeah. You have different energy.
Is this like a more mature energy?
Well,
What
I
are we
knew
thinking?
you protecting Lamar.
Yes.
I've known you through protecting Patrick. I
Yep.
caught up with you kind of in depth last year. You always have a good vibe, but there's a newness to you.
Yeah.
What is that? Or is it is it a comfort thing this past year, or is it are you doing something new?
Yeah, no, I feel like this is the first time in my career, I would say I've been able to be myself and being able to not necessarily have to stress or worry about things that I don't need to. This organization has done an amazing job, not even just with me, with bringing everyone that they bring in here. They allow you to be yourself. And, man, I feel so free in a sense of just being able to go and tack each and every day, going able to be in the locker room, being myself, or speak up in a meeting, whatever it may be. I guess you could say that's probably the new that you feel, and the maturity and understanding of where I'm at. And I think I've grown a lot too, in a sense of, man, I'm so hungry to be great. I'm hungry to go out here and win for the city and this organization, to be able to play my tail off for the guys in our offensive line room, all of that.
It's not just because you're intermittent fasting. You're not just
hungry.
I know. You're not
no,
just hungry because you're hungry.
Yeah, no,
Orlando.
I'm hungry for Super Bowls, All Pros, and Pro Bowls.
You have this. I keep staring at this tattoo. It says now, and
yeah.
I'm just having some sort of like a. It's hard to explain sometimes through the camera what the energy can be like, and
Yeah.
I'm having this. I'm going to remember this moment in February, January, deep into
those caught my eye right away.
Thank you.
Yeah, those caught my eye.
I knew I might see you. I had to bring my No, but there is a feeling about it being now.
Yeah.
And I know that Joe Burrow has said the window for me to win a Super Bowl is my entire career,
Mm-hmm.
but he wants to win one with Jamar.
Absolutely.
He wants to win one with T, the guy who he has chemistry with. They're bought in.
Yep.
I'm curious because you didn't have him in the preseason last year. Everybody in like my world, fans, media, are like, it's the second time in his career that we've had him in the preseason. How big is it knowing what you didn't have last year, what you have now is in terms of reps and chemistry? How important is it that he's out there, and what an advantage is it?
So important. Not even necessarily, I don't want to say for the X's and O's, but everything that goes into it, his leadership, his energy. When you've got the starting quarterback out there and it's Joe Burrow, not just any Q in the world, it's Joe Burrow, it's a certain type of energy that he brings to the game and to the field, to our offensive huddle, to practice and intensity. And I feel like having him out there, it's almost taking practice to another level in terms of chippiness, in terms of execution and focus, intensity. All of those things kind of go hand in hand. And then, from an X's and O's standpoint, he's playing lights out. I've seen him do it all.
What's it like keeping Shiesty away from Trey Hendrickson?
Oh, man. Trey is, as you know, one of the top dogs in this league. I saw a statistic.
He's a maniac.
He is. What they call him, Blackout Trey. Trey's a dog. I'm glad he's on my team. I get to practice against him every day. Both of us just sharpening our sword. But, man, Trey is one of the top dogs. I saw a statistic. It was, I think he was third in sacks since 2020 or something like that, behind T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett, which I feel like is right on cue with his natural ability too.
Yeah, I think Coach Lou is just ready to unleash him, but not on our quarterback.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow will unleash that week one against, I believe, the Patriots is the week one out the gate situation.
Yes, it is.
Okay, run. I just really quickly, because you obviously you create lanes, you make things happen for the run game. We want a balanced offense. What do I need to know about a world without Joe Mixon here?
Yeah, I think obviously Mix is gonna have such a great year in Houston. I just feel like it's the perfect fit for him overall and what they do. But what we have here now is obviously Chase Brown bringing in Zach in the offseason from I believe it was Indianapolis last year. These are two different type of players but similar style that do a great job with what we do, from things in the gun, things under center or in the pistol. Zach's might have missed one cut all year, just in terms of his ability to read the defense, know what's going on, make the right decisions. And Chase is elite special talent. We've seen what he can do with the ball in his hand. We know how fast he is. I got a lot of high hopes for our running back room and everything that they bring to the table, but it'll be on us up front to create those lanes.
I told you who I think it's an unheralded running back group, so that's why I think people aren't talking about it because it's the shadow of Joe Mixon.
For
but
sure.
you're going to do your thing.
Absolutely.
And you're going to make sure it happens. Tell me about week 2.
Okay, week 2.
Where does your head go?
We go to Kansas City. We'll be in Arrowhead.
Where
week
does your
2.
head go?
Man, I mean, it's exciting. For me, even playing Baltimore twice a year too, going back to M&T Bank is once a year is crazy. But, it's always exciting. I don't really necessarily put pressure on myself. I personally feel like I've played in the biggest game of my life already in that Super Bowl in 2022. And, I don't know if necessarily any other moment gets bigger than that than Super Bowl in 2025. So, for me, I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there. We had a bad taste in our mouth last year. Losing, but we'll have Shiesty back in action, and we'll see how it goes.
Shiesty in New Orleans sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a nice storybook situation, a nice arc for him.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah, I love how I bring up the Chiefs and you're right away bring up the Ravens. That sort of shows me where you stand in wanting to face. And what you want them more, I can tell.
Yeah.
Why? Why them more?
Well, it's just part of it. It starting with ball, and playoffs and all that. You gotta win your division. And, that's what's most important.
That's
so
what Bengals fans want to hear.
Yeah.
You are comfortable. You are magical. You are so special. Your energy is unbelievable.
Thank you.
And there's some looseness to you that I would be very afraid of if I was going up against you week in, week out.
Yeah, my mom says, I guess, maintaining my ability to snap. So I think I've kind of tamed that a little bit.
Beware, AFC North. Beware. We'll be right back after this. Okay, Coach, here we are. Bengals training camp. I hear you're very competitive. How's it going with the hoop in the weight room?
I spent a lot of time in the off season being competitive, and I kind of put it on the back burner during the season. But you're right. We all have a lot of staff competitions around here. Pickleball, basketball, whatever we can do to stay. We're all former players that weren't good enough, so we got to find our ways to stay competitive.
I was told to ask you about your record with the hoops, to let you brag a little bit, Coach.
Have the world record in all the competitions. So not much more needs to be said. Others can speak for me, but world record in all the events.
I love that. I'm so curious. I feel like you're running a very balanced camp. It's very well thought out. It's very obvious just walking through the halls. Everyone's sort of happy, and the vibe is really high. How close have you been to getting out there in these quarterback drills, as competitive as you are?
No, I can't do that. These guys are infinitely better than I ever was, and but it does give me the ability to admire kind of how they go about their work, and I think they're such pros and think through things that I had never thought of as a player to work on their game and make sure they're at the top. And so again, we got a really good football team full of character. Our quarterbacks are great examples of that.
2006 Big 12 Player of the Year, Nebraska. No, you don't want to get out there. I mean, I see Press doing it all the time.
Yeah, Press is more athletic than I am. Those days have passed me.
Can you define player friendly, which is something that you've been described as?
I like to communicate with the players. I like to know their opinion on things. It doesn't mean that we're going to do it that way. I want them to understand the intent of why we're doing it. So that can lead to player friendly when they just have an understanding of why we're doing this, why we're asking a lot of you today, why we're going to cut back tomorrow. I think that can be perceived as player friendly, but really I just want all the information to be able to make the decisions.
A lot's being made of it being Joe Burrow's second healthy camp, that you have, fans. I'm talking to them walking through Cincinnati last night, media, of course. How big of a deal is it? Do we put too much value on it, or knowing what you didn't have these other years and now, you have him out there, he's healthy? How valuable is it?
Well, I mean, he didn't practice in August last year and really not in August the year before. And we've started with divisional opponents the last 2 years, really good defenses. And so it's certainly an advantage for him to be able to get out there and form some chemistry with the offensive guys. But, he's always found a way to get himself up to speed as quickly as possible. And he's got his own system he follows, and it's worked well for him.
It's a nice demeanor you have about you when we start talking about Joe Burrow. You're sort of perk up coach.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of people happy. Your kids, did they dye their hair like him? I heard
one of them did.
One of them. What? And did he ask your permission? How did that go?
He went through my wife. I gave my blessing. I could sense that was going to be the trend around town. And 7th grade, he's in training camp himself. What's the big deal? So about 7 or 8 of his friends did it.
Outside of the hair, developmentally, whether it's as a leader in the locker room, skill level, how is he evolving?
I think he understands, the role he plays on this team and the significance and his impact and everything he says to anybody is impactful. And that wields a lot of power, and you got to use that the right way. And he has. I mean, he's just really never misses with anything, any message he gives to a young receiver or the offense or the team in general or the fan base. He just always has a knack for saying the right, genuine thing that isn't forced, isn't unnatural. It just is him, and it's always why I say he's a national champion, #1 pick, Heisman Trophy winner. That's just the way it goes.
He certainly is. I hear he has said he's used that voice, that genuine, honest voice, to say he wants to play in the preseason. You have a gig that I don't envy, having to decide how much or yes or no or when. Can you just take me into your decision process? What are the things that are going through your head when deciding that?
Well, I mean, for years he and I have had this conversation for years now, and it's always been trending towards let's play him. Not that I've said that publicly, but when he's not playing, then are you going to play this other guy? And then are you going to play this other guy? And this is what happened to the Rams in 2018. It was I think Whitworth was out, and so we didn't play golf, and so then we didn't play anybody, and so there always one thing leads to another. Right now, we have a healthy quarterback that we've always intended to play in the preseason, and so we'll find the right way to do it. And certainly, there's protection that's involved in that, calling stuff that's going to keep guys out of harm's way. But I think it's good for everybody to get out there in the huddle, under the lights, in front of a stadium, no coaches on the field. It's just the 11 guys in the huddle. I think that element is important.
But I would love to know more about that. Like, what is the value of a few snaps versus what would be the risk?
Well, for one, the way the schedule falls, there's a lot of dead time, particularly between the third game and the first regular season game. The schedule's really changed, and we're playing on a Thursday night that week. And so there's a lot of things that factor in. You want guys to get the work, and pregame warm-ups is significant, and to get 10 to 20 reps on the field, who knows? Could be 5, could be 25. You never know how it's going to play out, but I think that's impactful for your team. Last year, our defense played, I believe, 17 snaps against the Falcons. It was one drive, 17 play drive, and they were gassed afterwards. And it was a good wake-up call that, hey, we got some work to do to get ready for the regular season because of the way that the excitement hits you in a preseason game. You're just out there, and how you got to react. You got no help. You're not being coached up. There's not guys on the sideline or behind you. It's a whole different atmosphere, and I think it does help you get ready for week 1.
So Joe will play.
I intend for Joe to play.
Love to hear that. As we look at other things that are going on your team, offensive line seems to be something that I'm very excited about. Is there a position group that you think isn't getting enough love? Do you want to? I know you love everybody, Coach, but
I think our running backs aren't getting enough love.
I said that, yeah.
I think those guys are doing a good job. They're really smart. They understand what we're trying to get out of the position. I think if you look at Chase and Zach, they complement each other really well. I could brag on the safety position. I could brag on a lot of different positions that I feel really good about. So, again, it's just I'm excited to watch our team go compete.
I saw Jamar Chase in the hallway. Got to say hi to him. He was sort of warm, sweaty from a workout. He's here in the building. He's smiling. Loved seeing him. What does it say about Jamar Chase that things are getting worked out, but he's here, and I'm sure he's affecting that wide receiver room. You've got Mike Gesicki here, teaching him chemistry, how to, do whatever. Like, what does it mean to you that Jamar is here?
Jamar affects the chemistry on the team in a positive way. When your star player has the energy and the enthusiasm that he does, whether he's just out there with the ball cap on or in the meeting rooms or in the locker room, Jamar has an effect on the team that's genuinely positive. And again, I think he wields that the right way and can really sway the mood of the locker room, and I appreciate that. And so he and I are on the same page, and he's easy to communicate with.
Coach, who deserves the credit for the buy-in from Chase Higgins saying, all right, I'm going to be here, business schmizness. I know I can win here. Who deserves the credit for that?
I think the locker room deserves credit. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something that takes years to get to what you want, to where the locker room can sway situations in a positive manner. I think Troy Walters deserves a lot of credit, our receiver coach. He's the best receiver coach in football. He played the position. He knows what these guys are going through. He's got a great relationship. He's very demanding of them. And I think that he does a good job of giving them great insight and coaching and tough love. And I feel like they appreciate that.
I think it's because they know they're going to win. They can win here. That's what it is. When I look at it and I say, if I'm T, come what may, future, whatever, I know what this year, present, right now, I can win here. And that doesn't exist everywhere else. And a lot of that has to do with you. Of course, a lot of that has to do with Joe Burrow. I wanted to talk to you just about my favorite play, my favorite moment with you. Can I give it to you? Have the specifics here. 2022 at home against KC, remember? It was 2-minute warning, 3rd and 11. And we could have run the ball, kicked a field goal, whatever. You go for the throat. Joe hits T, first down, game is over. I want to know, I remember so clearly watching this. What were you thinking in that moment?
You got to go for it. I mean, these aren't situations you make in the moment.
Yeah.
These are situations you made days before. And you factor into who's the other team's quarterback. That factors in. And, you know, if you choose to kick a field goal and give him the ball back, he can throw the ball 75 yards down the field to Tyreek Hill. And if you get a bogus DPI call, then the game's over. It's
Yeah.
a field goal. And so when you got guys that are capable, you factor that in. It has nothing to do with our defense and the faith we have in them. It just has to do with when you've seen a guy do it over and over and over, and we feel like we've got that guy, then it affects the decisions. And you trust our guys. We're given a very simple play call that our guys have repped a million times. And when the game's on the line, our guys are going to execute it. And Joe and T did, and the protection held up, and you're able to win the game.
I'm on this training camp tour, and everyone keeps asking, what's the storyline in the NFL? And I said, it's very simple. Keep that man in Kansas City from three-peating. Keep them from doing it. Do you see it that way? Do you see it more of, you don't? Tell me.
I mean, it's about us. I mean, it's
About you.
what we control. It starts with our division. You know, we've got a tough division that garners a lot of respect from the entire world. And our focus is on getting through our division on top. And that creates the best path to see who you're going to see in the playoffs, where you want to see them. And so it starts with that. And again, we just need to focus on ourselves. We don't need to be worried about Kansas City or any of the divisional teams or anything like that. And I think our team understands that because they've been to the top. They've seen it. They know what it's like to get to the championships and Super Bowl. And so they know it doesn't do us a lot of good to talk about everybody else. Let's just focus on ourselves, and that's the best path.
I never met your new OC. Not new to you, of course, but new to some people. What do I need to know about him as far as his identity, I guess, aggressive nature?
Yeah, Dan, tremendous personality, tremendous energy, incredibly smart, much smarter than me. I mean, that's where I'm fortunate is I've got a lot of coaches on the staff that make me look good because they know what the heck they're doing and they put people in the right position and give me great guidance. And so you just got to continue to empower guys like Dan Pitcher to do their job. And he's tremendous. The whole world will know who he is because of the job that he does and will continue to do. His personality, the way he affects other coaches and players and affects our team. And, you know, he'll be a head coach sooner rather than later, and we'll have to prepare for life after him.
Does this camp feel different? Last one for you. Does this camp feel different than some of the others?
Yeah, I can't compare. It's every year is just so different. And so, yeah, it is different because your team is different. So you're focused on how's this group going to evolve and is this guy going to step up? And so the way the games fall on different dates affects your practices. And so it does feel different for not reasons you're asking me, just because I think that's just the nature of every year being a little bit different.
I know you like pickleball. If you had to pick one person on this roster to partner with in pickleball.
Joey Bose.
Sorry?
Joey Bose.
Okay. Why? That was a quick answer. Why?
Because we've already proven what happens when we're partners. Yeah.
You're so competitive. I love this. Listen, I hope this ends up with you in some local bar somewhere that you're not even comfortable or wanting to be in. I just hope that that's what happens for you, Coach.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable in bars, period. So every bar I'm in, I'm uncomfortable. Yeah,
That's what I hear. But you got to take the trophies there. We got to get this thing, and I hope that you fulfill all your goals this year. Thanks for sitting down with me.
awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.